so much, but I'll persist and let you know just how it goes. I know you won't remember. I know I'm alive. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of The Success Shift. I'm very excited today. Why? I don't know. I just woke up in a good mood, like we were talking about yesterday. Went for a nice jog. Actually, I think I know why I'm excited after my jog, but I'll get on to that. But it's just been one of those days where you wake up feeling great. And so I'm glad you can all join me. I know for most of you, it's the start of your morning. Hopefully I can offload some of my positive energy, my happy vibes, and my good vibrations over to you so you can carry it through your day. I want to say thank you to everyone who keeps showing up on these calls. Honestly, I'm so grateful for all of you. I can see the same names popping up, and I can definitely see the people who are going to be making changes and progress in the coming year. I want to be here consistently for all of you and for myself. You know, I'm not going to lie and say this is selfishly for everyone. This is for me as well. This call, it gives me a reason to stay disciplined. It gives me a reason to stay consistent, and it gives me a reason to keep growing. You know, there's sometimes, and this is what I've been talking about a lot this week, and I'm going to finish throughout this week talking about discipline, because this is what I'm trying to change over this year. But it does really come from having a reason to do the things even when you don't want to do them. And, you know, this call, sometimes I don't feel like I'm in the mood. I don't feel like I really want to come up with something to discuss, but then I do, and I love it. And I grow along with hopefully you guys as well. It really pushes me and gives me reason to expand my mind. And yeah, I'm very, very grateful for all of you who keep giving me a reason to keep showing up. It really does make a difference. Today, I want to invite anyone, if they would like to open their mic and share their gratitude. Otherwise, please chuck it into the chat. We start the call the same way every time, with reason, because we want to stay disciplined. We want to stay consistent. We want to create these habits so that, you know, it's almost second nature. I want it to be so ingrained into you to find gratitude that even if you're not on this call, you're finding gratitude in your own time. So, Jake, the gratefulness goes both ways. I'm grateful for your consistency and discipline, as I need a mentor to teach and show what it looks like. Yeah, it can be hard, and it really does help when someone stays consistent. I know for me, some of the people who have guided my journey are I've got a couple of friends who have transformed their life on Facebook, you know, just in their stories, consistently showing their discipline and consistently posting. And so I, just sitting in the background, just observing, have found inspiration from them, and it does help. So now I'm trying to, you know, pass that forward and try and stay consistent in the eyes of some people, to hopefully give them that extra push, that extra drive to get their consistency and their discipline and their growth happening. So thank you very much. I appreciate your appreciation. Grateful for coffee this morning. Too many lemon piscoes last night. Nice. Good on you. Yeah, coffee does help. Is there anyone that is willing to open their mic and share with us today? I'm trying to push the people who are here a little bit further, get out of that comfort zone. Sometimes it can be scary. Sometimes it can be a little bit intimidating. But if you really want to grow, you have to learn to step out of that comfort zone. And I'll be talking about this a little bit more in today's session. But for now, is there anyone that is willing to share? Don't be shy. It's okay. In the chat, we have, I am grateful for all things that are grounding, walking, meditation, communication, relationship, vision, hard work, challenges, the ability to overcome. Yeah, that's really good. I was listening to David Goggins this morning, and I'll share a bit of what he said, what I was listening to, and it's along those lines, which I found very powerful. Jake, too many people here. That's okay. We'll get you there eventually. It doesn't matter about the number of people. You should be doing it for yourself, but I understand it can be intimidating. I will keep asking, I will keep pushing, and hopefully we can get some people to step that boundary, get out of the comfort zone, and just share. There's nothing more than just telling us what you're grateful for. But if we have no one willing today, and it's okay, we'll try again maybe tomorrow or Friday, when people are usually feeling a bit more daring. I see. On your side. Okay, gotcha. Too many people on your side making noise. Oh, well, it's nice to have people around. Maybe next time. All right. Today, I am continuing on with my talk about discipline. I I want to share a couple of things that happened to me over the last couple of days that I had someone reach out to me, message me who's trying a trading challenge, and they passed a couple in the past. They unfortunately then failed it. Once they've passed it, taken a withdrawal, and then blown the account. And I got messages saying, look, I need help. I've lost hope. And I can imagine that many people, I've been in this situation myself, where you fail a few too many times and you lose that hope. And you're like, oh man, you lose all your energy, your dreams fizzle out, and you go, oh, am I really going to do this? That's normal. I want you to know that's very, very normal. And it's these times where the discipline really kicks in. And what I want to share from this is that our mindset is honestly the make or break in these situations. You know, everything you do in this life is just you versus you. However, 90% of people choose the path of me versus them, me versus Jake. How do I compare to where he's at? How do I compare to where she's at? How do I compare to with, the next door neighbor's cat? And it's just ingrained to us. These are the subconscious beliefs that we sort of have so inbuilt into our systems that it's hard to break. And so it's no one's fault. I mean, it usually comes from schooling. It usually comes from comparison of teaching classes. This is what your grade is compared to everyone else. You suck or you're great. Here's a medal. Whatever the teaching is, it's just the way we've been grown up a lot of Western society. And what I really want to try and do here on these calls and throughout this year and on your journey is to try and break that down, because in reality, it's only you versus you. It is only you versus previous you. You have a choice every single day to either be happy with the progress you're made or disappointed with the progress you feel you should have made. And again, I'd say this a lot. We need to find gratitude for the progress we have made and not disappointment in the progress we haven't made. And I read a really good quote, I think it was yesterday, that said, discipline leads to habits, habits lead to consistency, and consistency leads to results. And this is so true. Right? Discipline is permanent, not because you have to push yourself mentally to do the things you don't want to do forever, but once you do it enough times, it becomes habit. And then you don't have to force it. Then you don't have to really make the effort. It's not a struggle. It becomes a subconscious habit that you just do. And you can learn to enjoy these things. You can honestly teach yourself to enjoy the things that you hate right now. The mind is an incredible thing. And so when I talk about discipline, when I talk about habits, when we talk about consistency, they all are one and the same, in the sense that you need to tell your mind that this is the thing you have to do, even if you don't want it. But over time, you will start wanting to do that behavior. You will start wanting to create that habit, because you'll see the consistency and you'll see the results, and those results will create the motivation to continue on. Am I making sense to people so far? Chuck some ones in the chat if you understand this process. Absolutely perfect. So discipline leads to habits. And once it's a habit, this is the part where we can make it fun. This is the part where once it's the discipline's the hard part. The discipline is the part where you have to continue to do the thing when you don't want to do it. But when it becomes a habit, you kind of do the thing without thinking about doing it. And this is when you can turn it into a fun thing, so that you look forward to doing the thing. Whatever this thing is, you look forward to doing it so you can do it for a long period of time. And that's all you need to focus on. The results are just a byproduct of you having the discipline to create a habit, which becomes enjoyable. And once it becomes enjoyable, once you like living through that habit, life becomes easy. It just becomes natural. And there was I think it's Dr. Peter, I can't remember his last name. He was doing a lecture, which I was listening to online. I think it's on YouTube somewhere. And he said you're only 13 trades away from being a successful trader. Why is that? Well, his theory was that if you can just stick to your trading plan without breaking your rules at all for 13 trades, you will see how your strategy can play out, and you will see results. And so then you'll go, oh, I like this. I like this feeling of this discipline that I've created. I like this results that I'm getting. And you'll continue to do that. You'll continue to trade to your trading plan because you'll see that it's getting results. Now, if you're a scalper and your trading plan says, I'm only going to take 2 to 3 trades in a day, don't take 13 trades and go, I haven't seen my results. Give yourself 2 full weeks of only taking 2, 3 trades. Just that. Stick to your trading plan. Stick to it to a T. Do not stop. Do not pass go. Do not take $200. Do not change it for a single second. Just stick to it without breaking any rules for 2 whole weeks. If it's 2, 3 trades, whatever it is for you. And just see what that discipline creates. Discipline is permanent in the sense that you need to do the discipline until it becomes a habit, which is enjoyable, and it becomes consistency. You don't do discipline for a month and then give up. And this is the thing with challenges, these prop firm challenges, which I think a lot of people get trapped into. They pass the challenge, they stay disciplined, they do everything they need to do to pass the challenge, and then they fall back to their bad habits. And what happens? That's not consistent trading. You blow your account and it's gone, and all that hard work's gone. And this can be the trap. But if you're not doing a challenge, you've got to understand that once you've formed that discipline, once you can find a way to stick to your trading plan and not break your rules, once you can consistently track your trades, do the things you're meant to do, the results will just come. It's not about looking at my results and going, oh, I'm not a good trader, or looking at my results and going, oh, my account doesn't show my skill level. It's about finding a way to stay disciplined, to continue doing the things you need to do, regardless of the results. And if you can do that, what happens? The habit comes, the consistency comes, and the results just appear. So the next thing I want to talk to you about is a bit of allowing yourself the permission to see the good side. So allowing yourself permission to take on the positive. Right? Before I get into this, I'm going to answer this question, or this comment. I think a challenge gives us a key focus, and then once the focus is gone forward, momentum stalls and we reverse. Perhaps part of the journey is to always have a what now and a what's next focus to keep us moving forward. Yeah, I totally agree. Lots of these challenges, these goals, they are great. But if your drive comes from hitting this benchmark, reaching this goal, achieving a challenge, what you're doing is you're becoming a finite game player. You are only in the game for one specific reason, and that's to reach that challenge, that goal. We need to turn into an infinite gameplay where we are in the game just to play the game for as long as we possibly can. And so if you're trading a challenge to reach 5%, that's all you're focused on, that's all you're doing, then as soon as you reach that, oh, okay, challenge is over, what's next? Where do I go? Someone give me direction. But if you can focus 100% just on the now, just on this session, just on the trading, just on the infinite gameplay, you're going to be doing this forever. All I need is my 1%, my 2%, whatever my trading plan says. Focus on that consistently, and don't worry about the end game. Don't worry about the goal at the end. The results and the discipline and consistency will give you that goal. But you won't have the disappointment when you reach it and are looking for something else. Now, I totally agree with having what now and what next. Like, I often will have a monthly goal, a 6-month goal, a 12-month goal, a 5-year plan, and kind of have something to keep striving forward. But my main focus has to be in the now, breaking that down to the baby steps, breaking that down to the mini micro steps, to the smallest possible thing, like we were discussing the other day. And can I just do that? Can I just do that one thing? And if I can just do that one thing, I've already laid out the plan to get to these goals, these steps. Then if I can just do this one thing, that'll lead on to the next one thing, which will lead on to the next one thing, which in turn will walk me down the path to success that I'm looking for. Can't wait for your journal to arrive. Hopefully it's there when I get home. I think it's going to help me with discipline. Yeah, I haven't received my author's copy either. It says it's going to take like 2 weeks or something, which I thought was a bit ridiculous. But if anyone gets their journal, let me know. I can't wait for them to come out. I still haven't received mine, which is a bit frustrating because I was hoping I could go through it all and check it all, but the hard copy, but we'll see. I'm excited too. So looking forward to all of you receiving your journal, for those of you who have ordered it. But yeah, so we got to understand discipline comes from focusing on the one thing that you need to do right now and doing just that one thing infinitely. And over time, that'll become a habit, which will just be consistent, which will give you your results. My goal is to run every day this year. If I just look at that as a whole, that's terrifying. I'm already like, oh, no, fuck, that's too much. I want to quit. So what do? I focus on pressing play on my Spotify list and putting my shorts on. That I can manage. Getting out that door and doing 1K minimum and not looking at how many days I've done, not looking about how many days I've got to go, just looking at pressing play and getting out the door. And my goal is that 6 months down the track, I can't wait I'll be jumping out of bed. I'll be off for my run because that's what I'll be looking forward to. This morning, it was still terrifying. I was like, oh man, I got to do my jog. Damn it. It sucks. It's cold. It's raining. It's wet out there. What I do, I press play. And I slowly put my shorts on. And then I did my 2 push-ups and I started to get warm. And then I got to 10. And then I continued on, did my thing, got out, did my jog. And this actually is a nice segue into what I'm going to talk about next, is perceiving the positive, allowing yourself to receive the positive input. So for ages, I was terrified of what people think of me. I was scared of others' opinions. And even though I was a massive extrovert, I still felt a lot of shame and embarrassment when people would poke fun or laugh or do the things, but I would still do it anyway in the fear. And people go, how can you do these things? Aren't you terrified? And I said, yes, I am terrified, but I'm forcing myself to do them anyway. Over time, I've started to not give a shit about what anyone thinks, and it's been great. It's been very empowering. But my example here is I was out on a jog today. It's, 4 degrees. It was raining, but I have ingrained in myself that I want to do the discipline to cold weather exposure. So I go for a jog just in my shorts. And for those of you who don't know, that I've obviously had a baby recently, and I've put on the dad bod. I've gotten nice and jiggly. So as I'm running down, bits just wobble around. Anyway, I'm running past some people and I get the smirks, I get the looks, I get the stares. And on my jog, I was realizing I have 2 options here. I have an option to feel embarrassed, to feel ashamed, to put my jumper back on and walk home because people who I have no idea about are laughing at me, staring at me. Or I can choose to use that and drive it forward and be like, I can't wait till I'm ripped and I've got the energy and they're looking at me in a different way. Or I can choose to assume that they're not laughing at me, but they're like, oh my God, I could never be like that. That's so impressive. I do not know what their thought pattern is, but I do know that there is a reaction towards me. And this is my point, is you need to give yourself permission to see the positive. Because so often, someone might look at you in a certain way, give you a giggle, maybe smirk. And what does your brain do? Your brain goes back to that little defenseless child and takes in all the negative and goes, oh, they're staring at me. I'm fat. I'm ugly. I got to go home. Whatever it is that your thought process goes. But it goes to that vulnerable little child that doesn't have any protection and goes, oh, these are all the negative thoughts. And you get on the wheel and it just spirals. And you can get very, very self-sabotaging in your brain. Or you can notice that happening and you can go, no, let's turn this. I'm going to show them. If you want to take on the negative, I'm going to show them. This gives me power to run even faster, to run even harder, to get to that place where I want to be, so that next time I run past them, they're like, wow, holy shit, I've seen him out here every day, and now look at him. Or you go, they weren't actually laughing at me, and you ignore it and go onto a different path. We can be very, 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 very detrimental to ourselves just through our thoughts. But we also have the choice in every single moment of every single day to perceive the situation, the positive or negative wave. Remember that? I don't know if you were all on the call when I shared that image of the cylinder And one lighting made it look like a square, one lighting made it look like a circle. It doesn't matter what the truth is. The truth is it was a cylinder, but two perceptions saw different things. You just need to know your own truth. In a certain circumstance where you don't know all the facts, don't do yourself damage by assuming the worst. Give yourself a leg up and assume the best. We are always beating ourselves up where we need to switch this around and start giving ourselves the benefit of the doubt. You know the saying, treat others like you'd like to be treated? Well, treat yourself like you'd like to be treated. For fuck's sake, like, how many of you would go to a friend who's gone for a jog and gone, oh, you were too slow. That was shit. You can do better. You know, I have these thoughts when I'm running and I hear in my ear the time that I've done for my kilometer. And sometimes I'm like, oh, Jake, you're so slow, rah, rah, rah. And then I go, no, wait, shut up, Jake. Like, you've actually gotten out, you're running in the rain. You've been running every day like you've told yourself you would. You've been doing great. Who cares if you're 30 seconds slower right now? You're still out here doing what you need to do. We have to shift our mind to go, you're doing amazing. I'm here to support you. Keep it up. Like I said, you wouldn't turn to a friend and go, oh, that's pathetic. You suck. So why do we do it to ourselves? Why do we get negative on ourselves so easily? And this happens in trading. And this comes from the messages I've got. I've lost hope. I'm no good at this. I can't do this anymore. I'm just a shit trader. No, you're not. You just had a hard time. You've just gone through a challenge. And what happens during challenges? You grow, you develop, you get better. The challenges is where you expand. And so give yourself the clarity of going, hang on. Okay, I've had a bad week. Or that trade was bad. Put some ones in the chat if you've made a trade and gone, oh, of course it's a losing trade. I'm so shit at this. I'm never going to get it. And it's okay because that's what I've done many, many a time. Yeah, sure have. Yeah, 111. But these are the words, these are the phrases, these are the sentences that are going to make us fail, that are going to make us end up quitting because, oh, of course, typical. Yeah, I knew that was going to be a loss. Oh, these such negative one-line phrases that you're pre-assuming your own self-sabotage. We are treating our own self like shit. If you were sitting next to someone trading and they lost, would you go, yeah, I knew you were going to lose that because you're just a shit trader? You would never say that. Ever. I mean, some of you might. I don't know. I don't know who you're yourselves, but I doubt any of you would. So why do we say those things to ourselves? We need to treat ourselves like we'd be treated, not just treat others like you'd be treated. Yes, treat others like you would like to be treated, but also treat yourself like you'd like to be treated. What's the point in liking to be treated a certain way if you don't even treat yourself that way? You know, we talk about the edge, your trading edge. If you've read, I'm going blank, Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas. He talks about the edge, you know, that thing that you have that puts you above the rest. Well, I was listening to David Goggins today, and one of his meditations to himself is, my mental toughness is my edge. And it stuck with me. It strung a chord. If you have mental toughness, the ability to do the things without fail, that discipline, that control of mind, that is an edge above everyone else. And boy, will it help in trading. That edge that you've got from a strong mind in all areas of your life will definitely spill over into trading. Because it gets to a point where you know what you're doing wrong and you know that you're like, oh, why did I enter this? Or why did I do that? I know that this is the wrong thing to do. You need that mental toughness to stop yourself in that moment where you go, it's only what, 2-3 seconds from this looks like an okay setup to pressing the button. It's only 2-3 seconds, not even, of mental toughness that you need. If you're taking 4 trades, which is even a little bit too many, you need 8 seconds of mental toughness per session. Maybe there's 10 setups that show up that you shouldn't be taking. Not even 20 seconds of a strong mind. Because once it's passed, once you've missed the opportunity, you can sit back and go, oh, okay, And it's that peaking moment where we know that it might not be the best, but we still have the FOMO, the emotions build, the tension builds up, greed, fear, whatever it is, builds up in you. And then you either decide to hit it or you go, no, this is not the right thing to do. It's going to be okay. And you leave it. So I challenge you to find that 20 seconds per trading session for mental toughness. Find that small blip where you can go, I'm going to hold off on this one. Because honestly, it's going to make the world a difference. And then you can look back. It's not going to be like, I need this discipline. I need to force this for my whole trading career. I need to force this in my mind for maybe 2 weeks, a month. Because once I've done that, the habit sets in and you go, no, I've been in this situation. I'm not doing it. The emotions aren't as strong. The discipline is easier. The habit sets in. This creates the consistency and hopefully the results. Anyway, that's all I have to share with you today. I hope you've been able to take some valuable things away from it, and hopefully you can apply it to yourself and find that discipline. Again, I really appreciate all of you showing up. To our traders, I will see you on the next call. And to those who are not trading with us or listening on the podcast, very much love you also and appreciate your continued listening. And I shall see you tomorrow for another episode. So thank you, everyone. Take it easy. Look after yourself. Be kind to yourself. And we shall speak soon. Bye.